Hi, my name's Kaylee. Welcome to a Vinyasa flow practice. When you're ready, you can meet me on your mat in a seat. You can sit cross-legged or you can sit back up on your heels. Today's practice, we'll start with some really just gentle hip circles. Take your time if you're still gathering your supplies, getting things ready. No rush, but when you're ready, meet me in some sort of a seat, and then we're just going to start to shift the weight around the hips. We'll let the pelvis start to move a bit. Maybe find some space in the lower back or the lower belly that you might want to bring a little extra awareness into. So we'll be focusing a lot on the hips today. Full body flow, but we're going to bring extra in attention to the area of the pelvis. Go ahead and switch the direction of those circles that you're making. Maybe start to lengthen your inhales a little bit. Slow down the exhales just a little bit. So no force, no strain to change the breath. Just inviting your energy, your prana into a slightly slower, calmer rhythm. I know when I land on my mat, I'm usually kind of a little bit frantic, moving a little bit faster, maybe with less awareness. And so one of the nice things about coming to your practice is that you have an opportunity to slow down, to check in, and to find a little bit more presence in that space, to be a little bit more deliberate and intentional. When you're ready, start to slow those circles down even more and maybe start to reduce your range of motion just a little bit. So gradual, working your body into a still position. As you settle back into your seat and drop into some stillness, and start to refine the alignment of your spine a bit. Feel that the shoulders are stacked over the hips. Feel that the head is lifting light up over the heart space, and the heart and the ribs are over the pelvis and the hips. And then take a long breath in through your nose. Feel your belly expand a bit, like you're filling up a balloon. Sip in just a little bit more breath. Open your mouth when you're ready, sigh it out. And let the hips and the thighs relax a bit. And let's do that again. Big breath, feel the belly, feel the chest, let your ribs expand as your lungs inflate. Sip in a little bit more breath, just to pause for a very brief beat at the top. And then open mouth, exhale. Feel the shoulders, neck, jaw relax. Take one more deep breath in through your nose. Find a little bit more length in your spine. Fill up. Hold. And then open mouth, exhale, let it go. Blink your eyes open. Meet me on your hands and your knees. Find a tabletop position. Spread out your fingers and then start to draw some circles with your whole body. So these circular motions can be really nice way to wake up around all of the edges of the joint spaces. So especially the shoulders and the hips, those joints move more than front and back, more than side to side. We've got a lot of range of motion, and we just want to start to bring some awareness into the body around all of those different directions. So switch the direction of the body circles you're making. Maybe start to crawl the hands forward a little bit so that you can press back toward kind of like a sloppy child's pose and a sloppy up dog. Sloppy, but deliberately so. And then go ahead and come through the center. Let's walk the hands back underneath the shoulders. Tip the tailbone up toward the ceiling. Let your heart drop forward, let your belly drop, little micro bend in the elbows. Find your first cow stretch. It could be more like a calf, so it might not be the biggest extension in your back. Big breath in though. And then tap the tailbone, coming into cat. Chin drops toward your chest. Pull the abdominals in and up to find more space in the low back. Let's do that again. Cow pose, big inhale, let your belly drop and your heart expand. And then cat pose on the exhale, round your spine here. One more time, just moving with your breath, starting to find some smooth qualities in the muscles alongside the spine. And then come through the center. Let's extend the right leg straight back behind you. So lift the right leg straight back. Maybe you lift a little bit higher so that you can feel the right glutes, but let's not open that hip just yet. And then bring your right toes over to the left. Look over your left shoulder. Find a side body stretch here. Option to tent the right fingers. And then maybe option to reach that right arm forward. Try and keep the right hip level with the left so we're not peeling the body open toward the right. Your belly, your chest is still squared toward your mat underneath you. Breathe in right where you are. And then exhale, right hand down, bring right knee to right elbow. Take a big step with your right foot. And then lunge forward into your lizard lunge. That left leg stays long back behind you. You may even scooch it back a bit. Right toes can point straight forward or out to the right. Just breathing into your hips, your pelvis, your lower back, noticing the sensations of the stretch. Where does the body feel open? Where does it feel a little tight? When we're working with the hips, we're working with the first and second chakras. So Muladhara is first chakra. It's our root, our foundation, our stability. Stay here or sweep your right arm up and open. Finding some rotation here, push the left hand down. So you're twirling your chest toward the right side of the room. Breathe in. And then bring that right hand back down. Tuck the left set of toes under, lift your left knee. Start to shift forward and backward a couple times here. We're just gonna step that right foot back to plank pose. So shoulders stack over your wrist, maybe lift the hips a little bit, and then the right foot steps back high, push up big, deep Ujjayi breaths, gentle constriction in the back of your neck. Jaw is soft. Shift forward, take a breath in, and then drop the knees, lower all the way down as you empty. Crawl your fingers toward the sides of your ribs, separate your feet to at least hips distance, and push into your toenails as you roll up into cobra pose. Breathe in, feel the shoulders melt down your back. Exhale, drop your forehead to the mat. Do two more like that. Roll up into your cobra on your in-breath. And then lower down nice and easy does it as you exhale. One more time. Breathe in, maybe you curl up a little bit higher, still using the muscles in your back. And then child's pose, wide knees for this child's pose. Bring your knees all the way toward the edges of your yoga mat and then press your hips back toward your heels. You can drop your forehead straight down. I'm going to keep mine just gently lifted so that my voice isn't muffled. But if your forehead's touching your mat, go ahead and slowly nod your head side to side. Relax any tension across the temples, any pressure in the back of the neck, at the base of the skull. Let an inhale slide you forward to your hands and your knees. And then extend the left leg back behind you. Keep your hips level here. Already warming up a little bit, so stay with that left leg extended and the hands down, unless like me, you need to ditch a layer. Reach back, 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 long through your left foot and leg. Look over your right shoulder, bring the left toes back behind you, out to the right. Draw the abdominals in a little bit, neutral pelvis, so your butt's not way high up in space here. Just nice neutral in the pelvis. Stay here or tent the left fingers. Stay there or swoop your left arm forward and to the right, finding that side body stretch. Either way, breathe into the left side of your waist, the left side of your ribs. Try and keep the chest square to the mat as opposed to peeling open. Nice long inhale wherever you are. Left hand comes back under left shoulder as you exhale, left knee, left elbow, and then step it outside of the left hand, finding your lizard lunge on this side as you stretch back through the right leg. So Muladhara, first chakra, everything to do with our stability, our foundation, our sense of being rooted and belonging. And then the second chakra, Svadhisthana chakra, a little higher, has everything to do with mobility, creativity, emotionality. And the relationship between these two, stay here or sweep your left arm, open as you press the right hand down, up out of that bottom shoulder if you can. The relationship between that first and that second chakra is that we want everything in that first chakra really solid and stable, really strong foundation, so that we have a sense of safety to mobilize, to explore, to expand, to express and create. And so when we're dealing with the hips, take one more nice long breath in here. Exhale that left hand down, tuck the right toes under. This time as you lift the right knee and you shift forward and backward, we're going to take a step forward with the right foot to Malasana, to our yogi squat at the top. Lift the hips, pull a big step forward, hands to your heart, drop the hips down. Right, so we need this super solid foundation, this stable base that's going to give us the freedom to bring that feeling, that energy, that emotionality, and that mobility. So if you feel like you've got tight hips, I want to invite you to focus on creating a stable base first, and then mobilizing instead of just trying to stretch that tightness away. So stability and then mobility. Press into your feet. We're going to lift the hips, drop the fingertips, and then heel toe the feet a little closer together. Find a halfway stretch here. Palms press up against the shins, or maybe you wing your arms by your side. Draw the abdominals in. Nice long inhale. And then fold forward, catch your calves, drop your head. Maybe you give your chin a little shake side to side. Then again, halfway stretch, palms to shins, or you wing your arms as you fill your lungs. And then fold forward as you empty chin tucks. This time, slide your hands to your shins and then slide the hands all the way up the front of the legs, taking your time to unfold. Stable foundation. You can adjust your feet, but feel your feet root down as you reach your arms up. Feel that the more you press your feet down, the more you can stretch and expand upward through the wrists, through the fingers, through the sides of the waist. Big breath in right there. And then exhale your hands to your heart. Surya Namaskar A, Sun Salutation A. Reach up on an in-breath, stretch. Forward fold as you exhale, touch your calves, drop your head. Halfway lift, breathe in, flat back here. And then plant the hands, step your feet back, high plank to low plank on a breath out. You can pause halfway down or drop all the way to the belly. Cobra pose again like we did before, or upward facing dog. Finish your breath in. And then downward facing dog. Set your eyes to one spot. Take 3 deep breaths in and out through your nose. You can absolutely find some movement in your dog, but see if you can keep your eyes resting on one spot. So soft gaze, maybe somewhere between the big toes or toward the middle of your yoga mat. Hang in here in down dog. One more long breath in. And then finish that exhale, press your hips back a bit more. Look forward, lift the heels, big step to the top of your mat. Halfway stretch when you get there, breathe in. Forward fold, breathe out. Unroll all the way up on the in-breath. And then go right back down as you exhale. Halfway stretch, breathe in. Plant the hands, step back, high to low push-up, finish that breath out. Cobra or upward dog. Inhale, pull forward. And then downward facing dog, press back. Set your eyes, take 1 deep breath in through your nose and out through the nose or the mouth. Look forward, lift the heels, Big step to the top, halfway stretch, breathe in. Fold forward and breathe out. All the way up, inhale, you rise. Right back down, exhale, moving like water. Find that flow, halfway stretch, breathe in. High to low push-up, take it through your vinyasa. You can personalize this a little bit by adding a chaturanga or going straight to down dog. When you land in downward facing dog, pause, take one full round of breath. And then we're gonna get back to the top of the mat together and move through one more round of sun salutation A on your own. So see if you can connect to your own rhythm here. And as you do that, start to find that balance between stability and mobility. So we want that structure, that container that allows us to safely explore. The next time you find your down dog, stay there breathing. Setting the eyes to one spot, maybe bending into one knee a lot, and then the other. And let's find a three-legged dog. Right leg comes up, keep the left foot down. Bend your left knee a little bit as you press into your right hand. Try and bring your chest toward your left thigh. Nice deep breath here, and then exhale as you step your right foot between your thumbs, drop the back knee down. We're gonna find a supported crescent lunge, so a low crescent. Back knee stays down. You can tuck the back toes or untuck them, but send your hips back in space a little bit, and then drop the tailbone down. So neutral pelvis or even a tiny little tuck of the tailbone. And I'll look for the front of the left hip and thigh by tuning into some sensation there. So start to feel a stretch there as you press that right foot down and energetically glide your right foot back toward the back of the mat as you draw the left knee and shin down and energetically glide that point forward. Take another full breath in right where you are. And then as you exhale, release the fingertips to frame that front foot and leg, and then press back to your half split, your Hanumanasana. You can curl the right toes toward you here. Feel the stretch in the back of the left hip and thigh. And then notice if your right hip and thigh, notice if your right hip is pulling forward or out to the right a little bit. And you bring that right sit bone back in line with the left. And stay here, or if you want to move this stretch a little bit more into the IT band, the outer edge of the right leg, start to crawl your fingers over toward the right side of your mat. And then again, do a little check-in with if that right sit bone is moving to the right or forward. Can you draw it back in line with the left? Maybe pull the abdominals in a little bit. Engaging some of those deeper core muscles to help create some stability in the hips and pelvis. You're going to reframe the right leg if you walked your fingers over to the right. Rebend your right knee. Keep the left hand down underneath the left shoulder. Tuck the left toes. Lift the right arm. Dragonfly twist here. Right knee and right toes are tracking toward the center of your mat, or the front of your mat, I should say. So tracking forward, keeping that knee, ankle, and toe alignment. Big breath in. Prasarita, take a quarter of a turn of your toes over toward the left side of your mat, and then bow your head down. Give your head a little shake or a little nod. Sometimes the tension in the back of our neck is related to the tension in our hips. So we want to relax the neck, the jaw, and let that ease kind of pour down through the body into the hips and the pelvis. Keep your Prasarita legs, but walk your fingers forward a little bit so you're in a halfway stretch with your spine. And then inhale your left arm up and open to the back. Keep a connection between the toes of your feet and the mat, but drop your weight toward your heels. Pull back into the heels a little bit, find more length in your spine, breathe in. And then sweep the hands to the top of the mat. We're gonna find High crescent lunge. Keep the back knee lifted, reach your arms up. Little micro bend in that left knee to squeeze the left glutes. Pull the left hip in line with the right a bit, and then start to straighten out that back leg. Maybe you wiggle the right foot forward a bit, take your lunge a little deeper, rooting down through the base of your right big toe. Big breath in, reach up, and maybe you draw back a little bit. Maybe you bring the palms together and take your eyes towards your thumbs. Exhale your hands to the mat, step back to get through your flow, high to low plank, cobra or up dog, breathe in. And then downward facing dog, big breath out. This time the left leg's gonna lift. Find your three-legged on this side. Little bend in the right knee, push the chest back toward the right thigh. Nice long in breath. And then step between your thumbs as you exhale, drop the back knee down. Low crescent lunge, so you're on your right knee. And then you're bringing your ribs and your hips over that right knee. Neutral pelvis, so if your butt's dumping way back in space, and you tilt the tailbone slightly more underneath you, and then energetically press the left foot down and pull it back as you pull the right shin forward to bring more sensation, more space into the front of the right hip and thigh, opening up the right hip flexors. Nice big breath in, and then frame out your left foot or leg as you find your half split on this side. Again, notice if the left hip wants to pull forward, and then send it back in line with the right. Option to curl the left toes here, option to walk the hands over toward the left side of your mat. Let's see if you can breathe right into where you feel the sensations. I've got a lot of sensation on this side today. And then we're just going to use the breath to support the body in what it's feeling and to calm the mind, creating that sense of stability, that solid foundation, sense of safety. If you walk your fingers to the left, walk them back around the left leg. Rebend the left knee, right hand plants under your right shoulder, tuck the right toes, lift the right knee, lift the left arm, dragonfly twist, hug the inner thighs toward one another. It's called Mula Bandha, root lock, just like Muladhara is our root chakra, root support. And the pelvic floor muscles are pulling inward and upward. Big breath in. Prasarita, pivot the toes toward the long right edge of your yoga mat. Let your head drop, give it a shake. Keep your legs in this straddle as you press back into your heels, and then walk the hands forward so your spine is parallel with the floor. Reach your right arm up and open, twisting toward the back of your mat. Again, send the weight toward the heels, but keep a connection between the toes and the floor. So feel that you can still feel the texture of your mat underneath your toes, that your body weight is shifted back toward the heels to bring some length into the low back. Reach the crown of the head away from your hips. Breathe in. Sweep the hands to the top of the mat, cover the toes forward. High crescent lunge, back knee stays lifted, back heel is high to the sky, but energetically pressing back. Maybe you take that soft bend in your back knee so that you can find the strength, the activation in your right glutes, and then use those right glutes to create more of a sense of stability in your hips and your pelvis. As you play with that, you might notice that you have a little bit more of a solid foundation to take this stretch a bit higher, and maybe to challenge your balance by taking your eyes up, bringing the hands together, looking for your thumbs. Breathe in, plant the hands, step back, high to low push up, nice long breath out, cobra or up dog. Fuel up, open through the chest as you breathe in. And then downward facing dog, nice long breath out. Stay here, let's clear that out. Breathe in. Open mouth, exhale this time. Look forward, lift the heels. And then step outside of your hands back to Malasana at the top of the mat. Inhale, pick your right arm up and open, find a little twist. And then exhale, bring that right arm down. We're gonna move, pick the left arm up, breathe in, and then fold forward, pivot the toes forward as you breathe out. Halfway stretch, but wing the arms here, breathe in. Interlace your hands at your lower back and then fold forward with that bind as you breathe out. Keep the bind, push into your feet. You're gonna slowly come all the way up to standing with that bind. Drag the knuckles down, squeeze the thighs together, a little back bend, breathe in. And then bring your hands to your heart, nice neutral spine as you breathe out. Reach your arms up on an in-breath. And then bow forward, exhale. Halfway stretch, breathe in. Plant the hands, we'll meet in down dog to get through a vinyasa, or you can step straight into your downward facing dog, breathing in. And exhale, we meet in down dog, breath and motion, right leg high on the inhale. Step right foot forward as you exhale, straight to dragonfly, breathe in as you peel the right arm open. Exhale, prasarita, sweep your fingers toward the left, bring your left arm up, breathe in. And then exhale, hands forward. High crescent lunge, pivot the toes forward, reach your arms up, finish your in-breath here. Take a prayer twist, hooking your left elbow outside of your right thigh. And then reconnect to your foundation. Start with your feet. Imagine that you're actually pulling the feet slightly toward one another. And then bring the awareness into your legs, pressing that right knee toward the left elbow. Pulling the left hip and thigh forward as you press that right sit bone back. One more long breath in. Stay in the twist as you exhale, wrapping your lungs around your heart. Come up into star pose as you inhale. And then bring your hands to your heart. We're going to take it into a horse. Turn your heels in, toes out. Go ahead and wiggle around a little bit. See if you can melt your hips down, find a challenging point here. Maybe you add a little slow pulse. Maybe you close your eyes, roll the shoulders up, back, and down. Okay, here's where it's gonna get a little complicated today. You're gonna stay in horse, but start to turn toward the back of your mat, lift the right heel, pivot toward the back, and then we're gonna find eagle. Wrap the right leg over, wrap the right arm under. Option to change that eagle arm by just reaching for your opposite shoulders, bringing the forearms to push together, or bringing the hands to your heart. So some variation. From eagle, we're going to take it back to horse. Open the arms in this horse. And then we're going to take it eagle to the front. So pivot that back heel up, start to rotate hips. Left leg over, left arm under. Eagle pose, your version of the arms at the front. Nice long breath in. Maybe you sit a little bit lower as you exhale. We're going to step the left foot down a little bit wider than hips distance at the top. Reach your arms up, breathe in. And then bow forward, breath out. Halfway stretch, your feet are split, yeah? It's a little wider than hips distance. And then maybe you plant the hands under the shoulders and lift your knees up, setting up for Bakasana. Bend the elbows a little bit as you bring your knees right underneath the underarms and then start to shift the weight forward. Maybe playing with lifting up one set of toes and then the other. If you've got Bakasana, great, you can come into that pose fully. I'm just gonna do it once. I'm not super duper feeling the arm balance today. So if you're in Bakasana, you'll take a big breath in and then jump back to Chaturanga on the exhale. Cobra or up dog, breathe in. And then we're all gonna meet in downward facing dog. Let go of the Bakasana practice, whether you did it or not. Right away, left leg lifts. We don't have time to dwell on it. Inhale. Step forward as you exhale. Left arm peels open, breathe in. And then sweep it through prasarita as you breathe out. Pick up your right arm, find your twist on the in-breath, and then sweep it to the top of the mat. High crescent lunge, pivot the toes forward, reach up. And then twist to the left. And back into your breath. Back into those long inhales. And slow exhales to work the twist. And see if you can let each breath be like a new moment, a new arrival. You're making little adjustments to your foundation, to your stable base, getting strong as if someone's hugging the outer edges of the hips together. One more big breath in. Stay in your twist as you breathe out. The inhale is going to take us to star, unravel, peel open. And the exhale, we come into a horse. This time, flex the hands so the palms are facing away from you. A little tiny bend in the elbows as if you're pushing two walls away from midline. Keep your chest lifted. Feel the muscles in your back body. Start to pivot that front heel and then rotate to the back of the mat. Eagle pose, left leg over, left arm under, or your version of the eagle arms. So we're going to try and make this practice work for us, make the poses work for your body, not the other way around. And trust that just going through the motions as best as you can is enough. Back to horse pose, press away from midline, and then eagle transition to the top of your mat. So when we move through this as a flow, we'll take that a little quicker. We're just going to be moving breath and motion. So you're an eagle at the top, breathe in. And stay here as you breathe out. Step the feet wide at the top, heels in, toes out. Reach up, a little different this time. Big breath in. Malasana as you exhale. Stand up tall, breathe in. Two more times. Exhale, Malasana, or maybe you don't drop all the way down. You can take it into a bear. One more. Inhale. Exhale, nice and low. Take it up tall, big breath in. This time, fold forward, pivot the toes, hinge at your hips. Crow or halfway stretch just for the in-breath. And then Vinyasa, we'll meet in downward facing dog. Remember, all that matters is staying true to yourself as best as you can. Right away, right side, here we go. Inhale, lift a leg. Exhale, step it forward, dragonfly, right arm opens on the in-breath. Prasarita as you empty. Pick up your left arm, find your twist to the back, breathe in. And then maybe hands free, pivot the toes forward, high crescent lunge. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, twist to the right. One full round of breath here, lengthening the crown of the head away from the tailbone. Exhale, wrap your lungs around your heart, look over your right shoulder, star, breathe in. Horse pose, push away as you breathe out. Inhale, lift that front heel. Exhale, eagle at the back. Stay here, one breath in. Back to horse as you breathe out. Inhale, lift the back heel. Exhale, eagle to the front. Breathe in. And back to horse as you breathe out. And then let's take this side to side. You can take as many breaths in each of these shapes as you want or need. You might be holding horse and ditching the eagle entirely. That is fine. Again, make this practice work for you. We've got a lot of external rotation in the hips in that horse. And then a little bit of internal rotation when you come into eagle. Big breaths in and out. Meet me in a horse pose. Meet me in a horse pose. And then bring your arms out in front of you. Interlace your fingers, but release the index fingers. So we've got Kali Mudra here. We're going to pivot the back toes and then maybe hover that back knee or tap it down and back into horse. Pivot the toes to the back. Hover or tap that front knee and then back into a horse. It's called a sidewinder. Side to side for 5. Whew. For 4. Last 3, we're going to meet facing the front of the mat in 2 and 1. So front of the mat, drop that back knee all the way down. Keep your Kali Mudra. Reach your arms up over your head. Breathe in. And then Hanumanasana. Straighten out that front leg. 3 nice long connected breaths. So you've got a little bit more balance on this side. And what can you give yourself in this moment? Breathe it into your body, a little support, a little encouragement, a little energy. And what can you let go of? Exhale, release some friction, some static. Start to walk the hands forward. We're going to keep the front knee stacked over the front ankle, lift the back knee up, wing your arms so you're in an airplane pose here. And then, or an airplane, lightning warrior. What pose are we in? No, lightning warrior. You might have lifted your back foot. That's where we're heading. Lift your back legs, straighten the front knee. So now you're in airplane. And then roll that left hip down a little bit. Hug the abdominals and the floating ribs in. So you feel stable through your lumbar spine here. And from here, we're going to bring that left knee forward and up, single-legged mountain, reach the arms up, breathe in. And then figure 4, cross the knife edge of your left foot over the top of the right thigh, and then melt your chest down toward your legs. You can bring your hands to your hips or keep them at your heart. Left foot's gently flexed. Lots of sensation probably in the left edge of your hip and thigh. Big breath in. And stay low as you breathe out. We're going to take it back to single-legged mountain. Lift the left knee, lift the arms, breathe in. Airplane, lever that left leg back. So it's like reverse. Big step to the back of the mat with the left foot. Reverse your warrior. Inhale. And then cartwheel in hands. Pause. High push-up position. Swivel your heels to the left. Keep your right hand down. Push your hips back toward your heels, bending your knees. High push-up, launch forward. Switch sides. Heels go right, hips go back. High push-up, launch it forward, take it side to side. Option, if you want a little bit more, as you take it side to side, you can reach that top arm up. Right here, we're going to be in high push-up. In 5, you could already be in high push-up. 4, last 3, breathe in, breathe out for 2, high push-up, big breath in. Vinyasa, the next place we meet is downward facing dog. We've got one side to go, left leg high on an in-breath. Step forward as you empty, dragonfly, left arm spin open. Prasarita, as you exhale, pick up your right arm, finish the breath. Maybe hands free, pivot the toes, high crescent at the top. Breathe in as you reach and stretch. Twist to the left. Stay here, one breath in. Twist a little bit deeper as you breathe out. Star open on the inhale. Horse, take it low on the exhale. Here we go, eagle to the back. Horse to the middle. Eagle to the front, woo, horse to the center. Going side to side or personalizing this in some way that makes sense for you. So this is your space, your time. The best use of that, only you really know. And in terms of the best yoga practice, the one that's most aligned with your current needs, your current energy, is going to be the best practice for you. So all of us are going to look a little bit different, and day-to-day things are going to look a little bit different. Meet me in a horse. Of course I start rambling, yeah? Kali Mudra with straight arms. I'm going to turn to face this side. Kali Mudra, straight arms, side winders. Point your index fingers away from your back, but try and keep the shoulders up. So tall spine here. We're going to meet with the left knee forward. So you'll probably be facing the top of your mat, but I'm going to be facing back in 3. In 2, left knee forward on 1. Drop the right knee all the way down. Reach your arms up above. And then Hanumanasana. Straighten that left leg out. Notice the difference between this Hanuman and the first one that we did. Notice the similarities. It might be not even associated with the stretch, but maybe it's just that your body's warmer and that your breath is moving a little bit bigger. From Hanuman, start to rebend that front knee, tuck the right toes under, wing your arms as you lift the right knee up, lightning warrior. From lightning, start to shift the weight forward, maybe just come up onto the right big toe, and then launch it up into airplane. Get level and even through your hips if you can, sending that left side of the inner thigh pulling up. Single-legged mountain, here we go. Right knee comes up, arms come up, breathe in. And then figure four, finding that big stretch for the right piriformis and the outer edge of the right hip and thigh. You know, flex the right foot gently. Let the right knee kind of melt down and back with gravity. Okay, we're gonna rewind that. Single-legged mountain, breathe in. Lever the right leg back as you exhale, airplane pose. Pause, take a breath in. Slow motion, big step with your right foot, reverse your warrior. Finish that in breath. Cartwheel your hands, high push up. Same thing, pivot the heels side to side, sending your hips back. Let your high planks be strong and a little explosive, so fully straighten the knees at the top. Remember, you could be adding that top arm as you send your hips back. 5, 4, we're gonna keep the knees bent in 3, whichever side you end up being on, in 2 and 1, keep the knees bent, and then maybe you pick up that arm, we're gonna just sit down facing the back of the mat. Hug your knees into your chest. Roll all the way down onto your back and then circle your knees opposite directions. Last little bit, we've got a little bit of core work and a couple back bends. So extend that left leg on the mat. Interlace your fingers behind the right thigh, right hamstring. And then start to push into the palms so much. Push that thigh into your palms so much that you lift the head, the neck, the shoulders. It's like a little crunch. Breathe in. Keep hold of your right knee. Exhale, lower the head, the shoulders. 2 more times. Inhale, push the right thigh into your hands to curl up. Exhale, lower it down. 1 more. Big breath in. Hold, hold, hold. Stay here breathing. Option to lift that left leg. Lift high, high, high. Option to keep the right leg where it is, to start to straighten it out. And then to reach the arms forward. So you're just using your strength instead of your hands, and your wrists will hold you here for 3, 2, big breath in, lift it higher, and then everything drops down on the exhale. Pause. Notice that you don't have to hold tension in your body for a moment. And then step your feet down underneath your knees. Press into the feet, lift the hips up, coming into your bridge pose. Push the feet down to lift up through the hips. So you've got this firm connection between your feet and your mat. And then let the breath move down low into the belly, maybe down into the fronts of the hips, all the way down into the thighs. Slowly lower the hips all the way down. Inhale your arms back up over your head. 2 more times. Exhale, arms to your side. Lift your hips high toward the ceiling. Again, breathe in, arms back, hips down. Exhale, arms down, hips up. Hold for 3. Relax your jaw for 2. Push the floor away for 1. Lower all the way down. Arms back. Breathe in. And then straighten the right leg. Exhale, interlace your fingers behind the left thigh. Push the left thigh into your hands, so much so that your arms straighten and you curl up off the mat. Big breath in. Release it down as you empty. 2 more times. Inhale. Exhale, lower. Last one. Big breath in, lift up and hold, hold, hold. Keep pushing into your palms with your left thigh. Maybe you float the right leg. Stay there. Maybe you straighten the left leg. Stay there. Maybe you reach the arms forward for 3. Soften your jaw for 2. Lift sky high, big breath in. Lower all the way down as you empty. Last time, bridge or maybe wheel is part of your practice. So either lifting the hips or coming up into bridge, bringing your hands right underneath your shoulders with your fingertips pointing toward your heels. If you haven't done wheel before, try and press up onto the crown of your head and then pause. If your shoulders feel okay there, then you play around with straightening the arms, knowing that you can drop the crown of the head, untuck the chin, and come back into bridge at any time. Whichever back bend you're in, breathe into your belly, breathe into the front of the hips, open through the chest in your wheel. If you're here with me, take one more long breath in, and then slowly with control, lower all the way down. You can bring your arms to a T or a goalpost, drop the knees in, keep the knees bent, but separate your feet so that they're all the way to the edges of the mat and you're slightly pigeon-toed. TP pose. So in order for us to be able to express ourselves fully, in order for us to have like a healthy relationship with our emotional self, we have to have a solid, stable foundation that we can come back to, that we can center ourselves from. And this is true in a very literal sense when we're talking about the hips or really any tension in the body. We want to be able to open up, to stretch, to expand, and find our full range of motion in different joint spaces. We've got to have the stability to support that. First things first, go ahead and come into Baddha Konasana, butterfly pose, bringing your feet together. You can bring one hand to your belly, one hand to your heart as you let your knees part, or you can keep your arms back up over your head or by your side. I'm taking a moment just to notice, right, where you have this sense of physical stability and safety. Where do you have a sense of psychological or emotional, relational stability and safety? And if you don't feel like you have those things, can this practice be a place for you to start that process of inquiry so that you can develop a sense of stability or increase a sense of stability for yourself? Bring your knees into your chest. And circle the knees a few times in each direction. Hug the right knee in, let your left leg stretch, and then take your spinal twist, dropping the right knee to the left, cactus or T, the right arm. Let your nose point straight upward, or if it feels good, keep your neck long and drop your chin toward the right. So it's not our fault if we don't feel like we've got our stable foundation all set up. I think it's a constant practice for most of us, right? It takes maintenance, even once you feel like you've got it intact. We've got to maintain it, just like you would a house, right? That foundation sometimes needs a little upgrade or a little repair. Come back through the center, take your twist on the other side. But do notice if there's a tendency to try and move forward without getting that foundation, that sense of stability back intact, right? So literally, if you feel like your hips are tight and you're trying to stretch and increase that range of motion and maybe you're not really getting anywhere with that, or you just keep finding that tension comes right back. I want to invite you to consider it's possible that you could focus a little bit more on creating more of a sense of stability before you try and increase that range of motion. That might look like doing a little bit more of a glute bridge or some stabilizing exercises before you drop into those deeper stretches. Come back through the center. If there's any other shapes that you need for your practice to feel complete, any other little movements, go ahead and add them in and eventually work your way toward a resting pose of your choice. It could be a traditional Shavasana. It might be laying on your side or your belly. Maybe it's legs up the wall. Any pose where you feel like you can let go, stop efforting, and just let yourself be. Give yourself some well-deserved moments of stillness where you can sense that the more you connect with the ground beneath you, the more you let yourself relax and surrender, the more supported you are. Stay here listening for my voice in just a few moments to end your practice, or feel free to shut off the video a little bit early so that you can linger here for longer. When you're ready to move on with your day, invite some deeper breaths into your body and some easy movement. Maybe you nod your head or circle the ankles and wrists. Take your time, really yielding to this slower, more deliberate movement as you work your way from your back to a seat, where we'll close together with one more big cleansing breath. Sit up tall, reach your arms down and then out to the side as you breathe in, as if you could gather up something good. Stretch, 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 stretch. Inhale just a little bit more. And then pull that goodness right down into your heart space. Thanks for sharing some of your time, your day, your energy with me. Keep taking good care of yourself, and I hope to see you soon.